Here we go. So Lil Nas X says "fuck BET" in new song and calls out homophobia in the black community. So, there's still now we're hitting some sensitive subjects here, right? Because we're talking about the LGBTQ plus community, which I am not a part of, and the black community, which I guess I don't qualify for that. Although I am 2% Senegalese, so are we doing one drop? Where are we going? Is that racist to say the one drop thing? I don't know. Okay. In any case, Lil Nas X is sending out a message about his BET Awards snub in a sneak peek of a new song titled "Late to the Party." And accompanied the preview snippet with social media messages calling out the bigger problem of homophobia in the black community. In the 1-minute teaser video for the song, which features YB, Lil Nas appears sitting shirtless in a car with "Late to the Party" blasting on the speakers. "Fuck BET, fuck BET" starts the song, which goes on with Montero, singer, boasting about how he doesn't need anyone to validate his success. Let's just, I might have to mute this. Fuck BT, fuck BT, yeah. Fuck BT, yeah. Hey, yeah. Lick it on up. Lil Nas X is awesome. Oh man, I love that he's okay. Michael Jackson's trending now. Why is Michael Jackson trending? Look, Kanye's trending, y'all. Kanye's trending. Okay, so he's not happy. He's not happy with BET, and he's addressing homophobia in the black community. This dude looks so trashy. But that's what's so great about it. It's so trash. I mean, he's lap dancing Satan. Come on, that's it's his whole thing. Trashy is his whole thing. Okay, so let's see what he says. In messages accompanying the teaser video, Lil Nas has tweeted that the song was not over no BET award. This is about a bigger problem of homophobia in the black community. Y'all can sit and pretend all you want, but I'ma risk it all for us. When at least one Twitter user wondered why Lil Nas would care about being left out by the BETs when he's been recognized by the ostensibly more prestigious Grammys, that led the star to respond that the contrast between his reception at the two shows was all the more reason to share his point of view on feeling excluded by his community. "This is my point exactly," he wrote. "How can I get acknowledged by the most acclaimed award show in the world and then not even just one nomination for my own people? Is that not crazy? Am I really tripping? Industry Baby," and the second longest running #1 song on Billboard rap charts of all time, and didn't get a single nomination. This is my point exactly. Okay, so what's this? Let's see what this is. Oh, it's a GIF. "You got a whole Grammy. Why are you acting like this?" So, talk to my team about what? Industry Baby is the second longest running number. Okay, we got that. "You got it twisted. BET Awards is the most acclaimed, not the Grammys. You should have dropped Scoop if you wanted a BET award. Talk to your team." And then he said, "Talk to my team about what? Industry Baby is the second longest running." Okay, so I see he's responding to somebody. He's young blood. Just last week, Lil Nas X sent out a quickly deleted a sarcastic tweet expressing his frustrations at the BET Awards for not including him in this year's nomination. He wrote, "Thank you, BET Awards, and an outstanding 0 nominations. Again, black excellence." He's sending out that shit. That's tight. See, I love fucking people who just say what they want to say. He shouldn't have deleted that shit. He should have just left that shit up there. Whether he's wrong or right, it's still like, I feel like he should fucking own that shit. No, don't delete your tweets. Just let it go. Just let it ride. Someone already screenshotted that shit. You know you're fucked. Just keep it going. Just keep it rocking. He wrote, "Thank you, BET Awards, for an outstanding 0 nominations again. Black excellence. If it wasn't immediately evident just how seriously he was taking a being... Oh, if it wasn't immediately evident just how seriously he was taking being left out, his protest grew more earnest. I feel like black gay people have to fight to be seen in this world. And even when we make it to the top, motherfuckers try to pretend we are invisible," he wrote in his second tweet. BET released a statement regarding Lil Nas X, voicing his frustrations with the organization later on Tuesday evening. We love Lil Nas X. This is from BET. "He was nominated for the Best New Artist BET in 2020, and we proudly showcased his extraordinary talent and creativity on the show twice." BET's statement reads, "Unfortunately, this year he was not nominated by BET's Voting Academy, which is comprised of an esteemed group of nearly 500 entertainment professionals in the field of music, television, film, digital marketing, sports journalism, public relations, influencers, and creative arts. No one from BET serves as a member of the Voting Academy. At BET, we are passionate advocates for the wonderful diversity that exists within our community." The statement continues, "We are committed to using all of our platforms to provide visibility and inclusion for all of the many intersections of the Black community. Nas was nominated for BET Awards Best New Artist in 2020, but lost the title to Roddy Ricch. Among the top artists nominated this year BET Awards are Doja Cat, Drake, Ari Lennox, Silk Sonic, and Kendrick Lamar." Yeah, so... Is there homophobia in the Black community, or is this a trashy dude getting pissy because he didn't get all the awards? Yeah, he just wanted it again, right? But he lost the other one. So what is this a bigger statement? Who knows? I mean, I would like to say that there is a underlying homophobic thing going through a lot of minority cultures. Mexicans has theirs. My peoples, the Asians, I believe, have something going on. I don't know. I can't speak for Asians, but I know the Mexicans can kind of get weird about it. I've seen some black folks, and this is anecdotal. I'm not speaking for a whole community here, but I've seen it. The baby, I think, represents a good part of a certain culture within the Black community. This I don't want to say it's ignorant, but just this sort of plain speaking hood mentality. I seen it big time in the homeless shelter. When I was working in the homeless shelter, there was the black dudes hated the gays. They were just always dropping the F slur. They're always just talking shit. And we had a couple gay black dudes in the shelter who they got made fun of a lot. But they mostly got accepted. It wasn't like they were ostracized or beaten up or anything, but it was definitely like a lot of F slurs. And anytime when someone get mad at them, they'd just be like, "Fuck you, F slur." So it was like, so just from my own anecdotal experience in the Black community, I've seen it. I've seen a little bit of it. And I'm not trying to speak for the whole community, but is there an underlying problem? Is there an underpinning of homophobia? Dude just wanted to be nominated. Yeah. He maybe, but is he really speaking on something bigger? I don't want to speak for a whole community again, obviously. So this is sort of ET Canada's coverage of it, and we always got to hear from a white lady about gay black issues. So let's hear what she has to say.
All right, Lil Nas X has put in the BET Awards on blast on social media as he sarcastically called out the show after finding out he wasn't nominated in any category.
Yeah, in a series of now deleted tweets, Lil Nas X wrote, "Thank you, BET Awards, and outstanding 0 nominations again. Black excellence."
And when some Twitter users questioned his qualification, Lil Nas listed his accomplishments in the last year, which include...
Oh, I think we lost Sangeeta.
Oh, they lost her.
Album.
Oh, there she is.
I feel like this should have helped me a bit. To repeat my tweet,
I think we got it. We got the most of it.
Again,
Jesus, come on.
Maybe three of the biggest songs of last year and a critically acclaimed album. I feel like that should have helped me a bit.
Yeah. So Lil Nas also argued that it wasn't even about the nominations itself, but rather feels a sense of achievement. He also spoke out about being an openly gay black man in the industry, adding, I just feel like black gay people have to fight to be seen in this world, and even when we make it to the top.
All right, we just read all this shit. We don't need to have some white girl repeat it back to us. You know.
Because of Doja Cat, in my opinion. But if they had a pop category, they could have nominated pop category being nominated. But just
at the 2022 BET Awards.
So he performed last year. I get his point of not being nominated, but just in general, the BET Awards have always been a little bit political. There's literally an R&B/pop category, which I find to be incredibly unnecessary. Those are two different categories.
I agree.
They literally just merged them because of Doja Cat, in my opinion. But if they had a pop category, they could have nominated a Doja and a Lil Nas X. I would say he does have a case in point when it comes to hip hop. The hip hop world in general, they're just not fully embracing of the gay community. That is just what it is. Where the hell is Frank Ocean? I literally say this every
You did say this morning.
Frank Ocean gone?
You know what's interesting about this lady and just pointing out some obvious things is that she's very light skinned. She's probably mixed. I don't want to speak for her, but I've seen on like different platforms where if people talk against the black community who are black and because that is saying in the hip hop community and again, the baby is a great example of or at least not a great representative, but it is a great example of sort of that mentality, I would say ignorance about the gay community. And plus religion holds a big part of this as well. I imagine that, religious people don't believe that that's a good thing, right? Very deeply religious thing. And in the black community, religion is a pretty big deal, Jesus is real. And so, but what I do know is that when I look on other communities, when I look on different platforms and you see people who are light-skinned talking out against anything in the black community, they get slammed. They call them horrible things. Uncle Toms, I don't even want to say the other stuff. It's weird to me. It's very weird to me to see that kind of reaction. It's like, oh, I bet your mama was white, like whatever. I have to sleep, but I'll leave it out. Okay, no problem, Zippy. Have a great sleep. I thank you so much for being here. We always enjoy your presence. So, again, this is what I've seen. I'm not trying to speak for anybody, but this is what I see. This is what I see when I'm on these different platforms and I'm seeing stuff going down in the comment section, because it goes down in the comment section. So let's keep moving.
What is going on? And just in general, like we see a lot of our hip hop stars, just in people in the black community, especially men, if they are super stylish, if they wear like tighter pants or they do anything that is not considered to be, quote unquote toxic masculinity, it's like there's judgment, and we don't always have to be confined in a box. We can all be very different, and we can all thrive in those differences. So I do agree that the BET Awards didn't embrace him this year. He should have been nominated. I don't think he should have been snubbed. But just in general, there is an issue in the community with just not embracing us to be different. We all either got to be thug life, or you could be you can be super educated. You could be all those things, but it's like, if you're in the LGBTQ community, if you're a man wearing nail polish and you're straight, oh my goodness, it's going to trend on the shade room. Like, it's crazy. So anyway.
Well, it's funny.
And she's just now been canceled, folks.
I'm just going to list it off because this is where people are also shocked. Drake, Future, J. Cole, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, Lil Baby, Jack Harlow was nominated over Lil Nas X. Now, they made a song together, and people are so upset that he is getting a nomination instead of Lil Nas X.
shit. Jack Harlow. Oh, damn, that's fucked up. Oh, shit. Yo, that is kind of fucked up, though. Fucking Jack Harlow got a knob. Jack Harlow. The one, the only Jack Harlow, right here, folks. That is the whitest man I've seen in a while. Got a nomination for the BETs. Look, I mean, is Lil Nas X just trying to get the attention? Is he attention whore, or is he trying to make a real point? And I think it's probably a little bit of both. I'm sure it's a little bit of ego and it's a little bit of both. You know, it's probably Jack Harlow at the BETs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I thought it was about the black community, about celebrating the black community. What the fuck is Jack Harlow doing in there? Somebody who is very much appropriating the black community, and not that I'm against that. I mean, do your thing, baby. Like, get yours. I don't care if he's rapping. He's a white dude rapping, but it's the BETs. The BET Awards. That's so fucking weird that Jack Harlow got nominated. What the fuck? That's weird. That is weird. And I suppose if I was Lil Nas X and I saw little Harlow over there getting the nom and not me, I might want to be like, what the fuck's going on, really?
So there's this whole, I think this is also feeding the fact that he's ahead of a black man on BET. So, there's a lot with it that people are coming at it with the fact that Jack Harlow got nominated. He's a new artist. And I don't know. I think Keisha said it right. Like, the people just need to embrace change and embrace people and their art, their art. And he's such an incredible artist and his music is so powerful. He should have been nominated. I mean, his performance, like Keisha was mentioning, like it was last year that he had that incredible performance. Yeah. And it was a shock value, but people loved it.
You know what's so inspiring about him too is watching the impact that he has on young kids.
Yeah.
Because they're singing his songs, they're watching the music videos with their parents, and they're having those conversations. And that to me is so powerful. And you can see it. I can see it happening. So it's, he's a fantastic artist, and he's doing so much for the world in that regard.
Yeah. So interesting comments. I think some people question when artists call out award shows, being like, I deserved this, when, people have interesting opinions about that. Sarcastic Klutz is saying he's a one-hit wonder. The music industry is fast-paced, but then you have Still Will Studios saying every award show is political to varying degrees. The BET Awards is not exempt from that. Too bad Lil Nas X wasn't nominated. Yeah, and definitely a lot of comments about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, that was an awkward way to end that. And anyways, don't cancel me. That's all that screams. So I found this interesting video by TYT, and I'm not the hugest TYT fan either, but I do think that they do a good job in covering certain issues and certain aspects of culture. They are definitely a very large left-leaning organization. But I thought this was kind of interesting. So they kind of go over homophobia in the black community, and I kind of wanted to just watch a little bit of this video. Maybe we'll watch it all. I don't know. But it's a very interesting to me because I am sort of an outsider looking in. And I just find it, fascinating where the lines are drawn, right? Where are these lines drawn? And especially in an already sort of, and I don't really like this word, but nothing really comes out. It's coming to me. Marginalized groups, which I don't really care for marginalized as a word, but I don't have another word for it right now. It's interesting that there's these different castes in marginalized groups when you would think that we'd all just want to be. It was like when I was a kid, I was always like wondering, like, why do Mexicans hate black people? Why do black people hate Mexicans? why do brown people not like each other? Like, shouldn't we all just be on the same team? Like, we're all dealing with the same shit, which we're not, and just not, it's not the same plight, but it is, there's similar circumstances that brown people find themselves in, and I just always assume it's like, why wouldn't all brown people just get along? Because they're all, we're all, I should say. That's really pale. I'm Mexican, I am. But why do brown people, fight and find different ways to draw lines? So it's just fascinating to me. So let's take a look.
Community and how how I also want to talk about the just in the Black community, how even now homophobia is rampant in the Black community.
Is it rampant?
How we're getting these documentaries from Ava DuVernay and all these different things that are highlighting the struggles of the Black experience. We have Beyonce in Homecoming, which was a triumphant depiction of beautiful Blackness. But yet, in our own community, we'll be the first to go. We'll go to a church and you'll hear pastors denouncing LGBTQ+ and things of that nature. How do you feel about that? Because when we talk about race and LGBTQ+, it's always such a delicate balance and a delicate situation.
Well, I'm actually doing my best to push back against that. In fact, I was at Pride, and myself and Patrice Colors, who's one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, we showed up, and I had a sign. We were in the parade, and I had a sign.
Which, by the way, Patrice, I believe, is the one that's under fire right now about mismanagement of funds, and where she's paying she's spending millions and millions of dollars on mansions for herself and spending millions of dollars on her family, and a lot of these the Black Lives Matter community is kind of upset about it. Some communities are upset about it because they're like, none of that money is going back into the community. I'm just telling you who this person is, Patrice. So just so you know, but I'm not against BLM at all. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I am saying that there is controversy surrounding BLM right now.
Sign that says, I will protect Black cis women, and she had a sign that said, I will protect Black trans women. Nice. And so the idea is, I have been around Black people who aren't transphobic, who are committed to the liberation of all Black people, who believe that LGBTQ Black narratives aren't an inconvenience or a distraction from Black liberation in general, but that. And
why should it be? That's my thoughts. It's like, why should it be a distraction from everybody being treated equally and getting equal? Getting their equal share in this country, in this world. I don't see why trans or the gay community is gonna disrupt that. That's my own opinion. Obviously, I'm fucking super lefty. I don't give a fuck. People are all mad right now because in Texas there was a trans kids show, and it was not a trans kids show. I'm sorry, I misworded. It was a drag show featuring kids. Now, I don't give a fuck. Like, that has nothing to do with me. But there's a bunch of people who are like, you can't do that, children. You can't do that. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? Who cares if their parents are consenting or if those kids are into it? Whatever. Who gives a shit? But now in Fairfax, Virginia, what's interesting is kids in third grade, I think as low as kindergarten to third grade, if you call someone outside their pronoun, they're equating it to I think they're calling it a level 4 threat, where it's on they're saying it's on the same page as making a bomb threat at the school. So calling someone outside a pronoun, now that seems a little too far in my book, because we have to keep in mind that pronouns are pretty new concepts, and not everyone's going to get this right away, especially kids who, are still trying to wrap their head around what all this is. I think education is important, but then again, I think that kind of went a little bit too far. It's like, how are you gonna? It seems a little excessive, right, Gene? Again, I don't have any problems with talking about trans issues to kids and talking about the LGBTQ plus community to kids. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's their community. That's fine. If your community doesn't want the teachers talking about it, then and the community comes together and they make a decision together, that's what they want, then that's cool too. I don't care. It doesn't affect me, but we do need to fucking, but I do encourage everyone to take part in their community and however they can, because if you're not happy with something, then you're going to have to try to, fix it the best way you can. But I'm all about the democratic process where people are voting for what they want to talk about in their schools, what they want to do in their communities. And that's fine. It's like whatever works for your community. But I don't think having kids as young as like kindergarten or third grade who call another kid outside their pronoun, saying that that's the same thing as calling it a bomb threat, I think that's a little far, I think. But hey, I never use pronouns. Not to say I won't, but I'm just like, hey, you. Yeah, you know what? I've never really had an issue with it. I've never had an issue where it was like somebody's so mad at me. And if someone does say, hey, I'm not a he or she, I'm they, they, whatever. I'm cool. I don't give a shit. I just don't care. Like, that's my thing. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. That doesn't affect me. It does nothing to me. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep farting. I'm going to keep burping into the microphone. I'm going to keep overeating. Like, it's not disrupting anything that I like to do, right? It's not disrupting anything. But we just need to fucking, like, maybe we all just need bong rips and fucking just chill the fuck out on all sides here. Just everybody needs to chill the fuck out a little bit. That's all.
Black liberation can't happen without it. And so I just think that it's an opportunity for us to heal. No one is really talking about the dark, egregious history in America around slavery and genocide. And many of the attitudes that we're experiencing intercommunity are just part of that generational curse. And in many cases, a missed opportunity to heal. However, media is always stirring the pot, because let me tell you, I stopped writing for several publications recently because let Kanye's mental health act up, let R. Kelly have a breakdown on Gayle King or something, and they want me to write all these op-eds. But there was a week where Drake, LeBron James, Common, Neo, all of these beautiful, brilliant black men were pro-trans and were putting out all this messaging about trans women. Don't you know not a single editor will let me write about that?
Wow.
It was in the same week. And so what I realized is that many of these narratives that we've accepted and embraced it as our own, we're not looking up and seeing the puppet strings moving about. It's not coming from us. It's coming from media, because media is always playing Switzerland, always pretending that it's just a passive observer, when in all actuality, it informs and influences most of our perspectives and beliefs. And we're starting to see that even under this election, under the political climate.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Again, which we go over this a lot, but the media stands the benefit that the media gets from stirring the pot and starting shit and having people fight is that they get more clicks, more revenue, more ad money. It's a shitty game. It's a shitty game that they play, and they profit so much. And it's one thing that they found out about the Trump administration is that conflict is I mean, they already knew that, but in this day and age, and how the media was kind of like these big media giants like CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, they were all waning. I know Fox News kind of always had like a decent base, but like you have MSNBC, CNN, these big fucking new cable news organizations were waning. They were losing out to the internet. They were losing out to people fucking just getting their news for free. And as soon as Trump came in and they saw the way to make it happen again, and they started getting ratings and they started getting, attention again, they found that way to sort of get people to even more crazy about all these issues. I mean, I don't feel like most people are hating the gay community or the trans community. I don't think that most people are angry about these silly things to be angry about. I think that it gets stirred up through media, and the only people who are benefiting are the media themselves. And of course, the politicians trying to, hey, yeah, I want to be famous. Hell yes. Mountviewers.com, everybody. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, she's spitting truth. Oh, Robbie, what's up, buddy? Thanks for banning that person and getting that out of here. Why I am lurking. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. Thank you so much. So, I don't know. I know, again, this topic is fucking hard, especially for this light ass dude over here trying to talk about it. I again, I'm not trying to speak for any communities here. I mean, a little bit for the Mexican community. I've seen it, but Latinos are egregiously, I don't think that's the right word. Latinos are just can be very flamboyant in general. And so they're like it's become a lot more accepted. It's just when you get into like the deeply Catholic religious Latino communities, they get really weird about gay situations and trans situations. So, it's in all these different communities. It's so, we're all one human race, right? Funny, I was minding two streams at once at the same, and want to be famous was both at the same time. You're bringing it, Robbie. Someone must be following you around, dropping these fucking want to be famous things. How dare you, Robbie? How dare you? By the way, Robbie is awesome. Everybody, go give Robbie some love. What was it, Robbie? Do you remember? Or was it RB? Did I make it all weird? Yeah, there it is. RB. It should be like RS, right? Or RG. RGS. RB. They were like the people he mods for want to be famous. There you go. There you go. These people really need this. All of those would make more sense. Probably, Robbie, but of course you know how this works over here. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Hooters. All right.
Right. Wow. I'm floored that situation happened in the matter of a week. But it makes sense.
Drake had Big Frida in the song. Yeah. Even Blood Orange, Devon Hines had Janet Mock as like the main video girl. TMZ tried to throw him off on the way coming out the airport and was like, "What about LGBTQ and trans people, non-binary?" And he was like, "I think that they deserve to express their creativity just like anyone else," and took up for us. LeBron James did this post where he had all these magazine covers of black women who were beautiful, and he was like, "Black women are beautiful," like very kind of like a love letter to black women. He included a cover with Pose.
Yeah.
No one wanted to talk about that because, again, media and other entities stand to benefit from the division and the fighting and the separation. And the drama, because the truth is that if we were all to come together, have a meeting of the minds, celebrate our differences, and see the value in one another, that 1% would be 0%. And so it only is effective if we're able to stay divided and not hear each other or see each other. And so I push back against that. So when people say like, "Oh, black folks,"
I'm sorry. That was a very funny. I kind of want to sample that and make that part of the sample pad. I kind of want to hear that again. That was very fab. Hold on, let's go.
And so I push back against that. So when people say like, we're able to stay divided and not hear each other or see each other. And so I push back against that. So when people say like, "Oh, black folks black
What's
people
up, baby?
Are not
Welcome
any more homophobic or transphobic than anybody else. It's just that white supremacy is better at shielding it or hiding it because it's not threatened really. Because it knows it has power. It knows it has control. It knows that at the end of the day, it's going to have the final say so. We're rejecting that. We're pushing back and we're changing that narrative.
I thank you for for that perspective, and I'm sure our audience is very enlightened by that, because that's very nuanced, and those are notions I hadn't even thought about myself working in media. So I'm truly floored.
Yeah, media is that girl on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that just sits back and kind of stirs her tea, but then she like throws out.
She puts the table whenever she was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you personalize that, how much black church gay baggage do you have?
You know what? It's not so much black church baggage that I have. I think growing up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I didn't come out till in my mid-20s. And so growing up in Albuquerque, I wasn't really exposed to...
What do you say? Black church gay baggage. Damn. That is quite a sentence.
To a lot of people of color, because there wasn't many people of color growing up. So, but I was exposed to a lot of negative imagery of gay men. You know, so I always felt, and then also I wasn't what you call your stereotypical black male. I wasn't. I spoke. I was whitewashed. I was a Carlton. I spoke well.
That's what my son's going through right now, because he's a scientist, and he's being raised by 2 dads, and so he'll go to a playground and people will say, like, you talk white.
So there's that too. And I've seen this personally, where the people who where black people will make fun of other black folks for talking white. I've seen Raina's own brother talk shit like that, to Raina, and that shit, that's real. That's some real shit right there. It's like you have to talk in a certain way, or else you're not accepted as one of them. That's interesting to me. Again, these dividing lines within these marginalized communities is very interesting to me, and I don't understand it all that well. I guess I don't get it. Again, I just feel like we're all sort of fighting the same fight here. Let's all just join hands and sing "Kumbaya" or some shit. I don't know. But this is fascinating, really.
Right, and I always thought, what does that even mean? And so by wearing that outfit, I also thought, well, am I not black enough? And layer that with the reinforcement from other people of color that are like, yo, you ain't black enough, because their experience taught them that they had to be a certain way and only recognize a certain type of person. And then being a man and being gay, it's just all these different layers that mess with who you are.
It's because we've put out this messaging that all of these beautiful attributes one can have, we've connected it to whiteness. So if you speak well, then that's whiteness. If you have like a good education, if you're polite, if you're kind, that's whiteness. But all of these other things, like prime example, myself and some other people were talking about when everybody was like, well, technically Bill Clinton was the first black president. And we were talking about, because of like his hipness, where, I didn't inhale, and Monica Lewinsky.
And he played the sax on Arsenio Hall.
Exactly. But what we don't realize is what they were saying was that this idea of unprofessionalism or laxness, that makes him an honorary black.
Well,
the drug or marijuana, that makes him automatically black. His ability to have an extramarital affair, that makes him black. So we ascribe like all of these negative attributes.
Oh, absolutely. And to that point, we really always have to look at how does white supremacy play itself in the LGBTQ community. That white supremacy has always set the agenda for what the community feels its needs are, when really the community is such a broad and racially diverse and ethnically diverse community that it needs to service a multitude of needs rather than concentrating on the hopes or the fears of a white monolith.
The white supremacy. Can we defeat the white supremacy? It's everywhere, folks. Yeah, so that's interesting. That was some interesting things they were talking about. I don't know how much I agree with everything they're saying. Obviously, there's some things I'm just like, I don't understand, or I can never understand because I'm not a part of these communities. But it's interesting to sort of again look at how there's different lines that are dividing marginalized communities, and I don't pretend to speak for anyone or any community like that. I've only my own experience and all what I've gone through. But these ideas, I think that they all are born out of a good place, and then I feel like sometimes the ideas go a little too far. Again, equating a kindergartner that calls someone out of their pronoun equating that to the same thing as a bomb threat. That's weird. That's crazy, right? That doesn't make sense. It's like, I get if you're in high school or in middle school and you go and call someone out of their pronoun because you know that they go by a certain pronoun and they just gotta, I feel like that is something that, that is rude. That's not nice. Like, if you're just doing it to be cruel, then that's not cool, obviously. But you're talking about little kids. I don't understand that. Like, I'm not against little kids knowing and learning about these different issues. It's just, why are we punishing them for something that they can't fully wrap their head around? That's what I'm saying. All right, buddy. Gene, have a good night, buddy. I hope you get some good rest. We're going to move on. We're going to go over to our Kid Rock story. So